What if the deepest patterns of the universe are not external to us, but written into our very consciousness, as though the mind and cosmos were mirrors reflecting one another? This was the radical vision of Valentin Tomberg, a 20th-century Christian mystic, jurist, and Hermetic philosopher, whose writings revealed a universe alive with meaning, intelligence, and divine presence. Drawing from ancient Hermetic teachings, Tomberg believed that the cosmos is not a cold, mechanistic structure, but a living, conscious reality, and that the same laws governing the stars also govern the depths of the human spirit. For him, Hermetic wisdom was not an abstract esotericism, but a living science, guiding us toward understanding reality as an interconnected whole, where the boundaries between inner and outer dissolve. In this video, we'll journey into Tomberg's thought, his vision of the conscious cosmos, his reinterpretation of Hermetic teachings, the unity of divine revelation and human freedom, and what it means to live as participants in a universe where mind and matter, spirit and nature are one. Valentin Tomberg was born in 1900 in St. Petersburg, Russia, into a world on the brink of revolution and upheaval. Initially trained in law, his intellectual path eventually led him beyond the purely rational and into the realms of mysticism, esotericism, and theology. Immersing himself in Hermeticism, anthroposophy, and Christian mysticism, Tomberg sought to uncover the deeper spiritual currents shaping history and the human soul. His writings, especially his monumental work Meditations on the Tarot, reflect a synthesis of diverse traditions: biblical revelation, mystical Christianity, Kabbalah, Hermetic wisdom, and Platonic metaphysics. In his view, ancient teachings were not relics of the past, but seeds of an evolving understanding of divine truth. For Tomberg, the challenge of the modern world was not to abandon science or reason, but to recover the sacred dimension of knowledge, to rediscover a wisdom that unites intellect, intuition, and spiritual experience in the search for meaning. Central to Tomberg's vision is the Hermetic principle expressed in the axiom, "As above, so below, as within, so without." Originating in ancient Egypt and crystallized in the emerald tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, this teaching holds that the microcosm of human consciousness and the macrocosm of the universe are reflections of the same underlying reality. Tomberg understood this not as poetic metaphor, but as a literal key to spiritual science. The structures of the mind mirror the structures of creation because they arise from the same divine source. To study the cosmos, then, is to study ourselves. To explore the depths of the soul is to discover the mysteries of the universe. In this sense, Hermetic wisdom reveals a participatory cosmos, one in which consciousness is not a passive observer, but an active participant in shaping reality. The human being, Tomberg taught, stands at the threshold where divine intention meets material manifestation, making self-knowledge inseparable from cosmic knowledge. For Tomberg, the universe is not a machine of blind forces, but a living, ensouled reality, animated by divine intelligence. Behind the laws of nature, he saw the patterns of cosmic consciousness expressing themselves in forms, energies, and archetypes. The planets, elements, and forces described in Hermeticism are not merely symbolic, but reveal deeper dimensions of reality where matter and spirit meet. Human consciousness, in this vision, is not an isolated accident of evolution, but a reflection of the universe awakening to itself. Tomberg's writings describe reality as layered, physical, psychic, and spiritual, with the human soul positioned at the intersection. The stars and the psyche, the body and the spirit, the seen and the unseen, all are interwoven aspects of the same cosmic intelligence. To perceive this unity requires a transformation of awareness, what Tomberg called mystical cognition, where reason, intuition, and revelation converge into a higher form of knowing. In his Meditations on the Tarot, Tomberg revealed one of his most striking contributions: the idea that the tarot archetypes are not tools of fortune-telling, but profound symbols of spiritual science, encoding the laws of the cosmos and the stages of human consciousness. Each card for Tomberg represents an archetypal principle, a living idea existing in both the mind of God and the structure of reality itself. Through these archetypes, the individual can come to understand the divine patterns shaping existence, gaining insight into the interplay between fate and freedom, matter and spirit. Tomberg saw the tarot not as a cult curiosity, but as a contemplative path, a way to engage Hermetic wisdom experientially rather than abstractly. In this, the tarot becomes a mirror of the oversoul, guiding seekers toward alignment with the cosmic order, where the laws of the mind and the laws of the universe converge. Tomberg believed that the ultimate purpose of Hermetic science is to integrate knowledge and love, understanding the cosmos as not just intelligible, but relational, grounded in divine communion. At the heart of his vision lies the mystery of freedom. God creates a cosmos structured by laws, but within those laws, human beings are called to co-create consciously. This makes the human soul both participant and witness, both microcosm and mediator. The divine revelation, Tomberg taught, is ongoing, not a closed system of doctrines, but a living dialogue between God and creation, unfolding in history and in the depths of individual consciousness. This understanding bridges science and mysticism, suggesting that we are not simply observing an external reality, but entering into relationship with it, a relationship grounded in wisdom, reverence, and responsibility. Though Tomberg was deeply rooted in mystical tradition, his ideas resonate profoundly with modern developments in science and philosophy. In quantum physics, the inseparability of observer and observed mirrors the Hermetic insight that consciousness participates in reality. In systems theory, the self-organizing dynamics of nature reflect the same holistic principles Tomberg saw in the Hermetic cosmos. Even in neuroscience and psychology, where archetypes and symbolic patterns guide perception and meaning, we see echoes of Tomberg's view that the mind's structures mirror universal laws. Where modern materialism often treats consciousness as a byproduct of matter, Tomberg reverses the equation. Matter itself is an expression of consciousness, and understanding its laws means engaging both intellect and spirit. This integration of science, symbolism, and spirituality positions Tomberg as one of the most significant interpreters of Hermetic wisdom for the modern world. For Tomberg, Hermetic philosophy is not merely theoretical. It is a call to transformation. To live the Hermetic vision is to recognize that our thoughts, actions, and inner states are part of the same cosmic order we study in the stars. It means approaching the world not as separate observers, but as participants in a living field of consciousness where meaning flows through every relationship and every form. Tomberg invites us into a way of knowing that unites reason with reverence, science with mysticism, and individuality with the whole. In this practice, meditation, contemplation, and service become tools for aligning ourselves with the greater intelligence at work in the cosmos, cultivating an awareness where the boundaries between inner and outer, self and world, begin to dissolve. Valentin Tomberg's Hermetic vision invites us into a universe that is alive, conscious, and deeply participatory. A cosmos where the laws of the mind are the laws of creation itself. In this vision, the boundary between the inner and outer worlds disappears, revealing that our deepest intuitions and the structure of reality arise from the same divine source. To know ourselves is to know the universe. To awaken to consciousness is to awaken to the cosmos unfolding through us. Tomberg's teachings challenge us to reclaim an ancient wisdom, one where science becomes sacred, philosophy becomes mystical, and the study of the universe becomes inseparable from the study of the soul. In the end, his message is simple yet transformative. We are not spectators in a dead universe. We are living expressions of its intelligence, invited to participate consciously in its ongoing creation.